Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. I hope that you are doing amazing. Today we're going to be kickstarting a series where if we have more than 5 products from one brand, we are going to be testing it out, trying it on. So for the first brand that we're going to be doing on my channel, we are going to be testing out One Size Beauty. I have my famous clear container here with some goodies. We have an eyeshadow palette, we have their blurring BB cream, we have mascara, we have concealer, quite a few goodies. We're gonna put them all on my warm olive yellowy skin, see how it works, create a look, and just have some fun testing out products from this brand. So if you would like to see what products I use and what the final look will look like, well then just keep on watching. Hair has been pulled back. We have the iced coffee in hand, so we are ready to jump on in. Before I start with any One Size products, I definitely do just want to give a little recap of the brand. This brand was created by Patrick Starr, who is also a makeup artist, has a lot of YouTube videos. I'm sure all of you guys have heard about him, and this brand is sold in Sephora. So any of the products that I am listing on here or mentioning and trying on, you can find in Sephora. Moving into the first product that I'm going to be using prior to going into any of the One Size, I am just going to prime my face with the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. Now this primer is one that I use on a daily basis, so I know how it works. It has that gripping formula, which I genuinely really enjoy, and it works so well with so many other foundations. So in order to give this blurring foundation a shot, I wanted to be able to put a primer that I know. Now moving into the first item that we'll be using from this brand, we have the Turn Up the Base Blurring Foundation BB Cream. Now when I saw the word blurring, I said, okay, I need this. I have it in the shade Medium Dark 1N. And just to give a little recap and information on it, it is a medium to full buildable foundation that absorbs oil and provides a soft matte finish for a second skin all day wear. Now I love this description, so I am all here for it to test it out and see how I enjoy that on the skin. It has medium coverage, it has a matte finish, and the formulation is a liquid one. So super excited to be trying this out. As you can see me applying it, you'll be able to see its coverage and how it works. Sticking to the second complexion product that we'll be talking about is going to be the One Size Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer. Now this one is an all day wear, do it all, medium to full coverage concealer that acts as the most targeted texture solver, gliding on the skin like butter and toast. Now I don't know about you, but when I hear glide, when I hear butter, when I hear all day wear, those are all things that I definitely want to try out. And this for sure, I have used this one before, and it is one of my staple concealer products. So I have genuinely really been enjoying this as well. I love the color match, which by the way, I am in medium 3. It looks so beautiful on the skin, and it really does last well throughout the day. One thing to also just call out is the ingredients. I see that it says caffeine, which helps visibly depuff and support the skin, avocado and mango butters, which help hydrate and nourish the smooth texture. So listen, I am all here for it, as we can see how it applies on the skin. Another thing to call out with this concealer, which we might have to put to a test another time, is that this is waterproof, and it's also an oil controlling concealer, which as I remember also in just the BB cream, it's also oil controlling. So I think this would be a great product for those of us who have some oily centers in the face, or for those who have just completely oily skin. I continue to see the words oil controlling and being able to just make sure that the oils are absorbed and aren't just making you look completely greasy. So I do think that this would be a great concealer for that. So this is what the base is looking like so far with just the foundation and the concealer. I can definitely attest to the foundation. By the way, this is my first time using the foundation. The concealer, I have one before, but I can definitely speak to the foundation being a medium coverage. As you saw in that first application, I was able to even out my skin tone just a bit, but you can still see a little bit of like my veins and if there's any red marks or anything like that. So I would definitely say it is medium coverage. I went in with some more just to be able to build up on some spots and see if it would be able to build up to a full coverage. I would still say it's a little bit on the medium side. You can get a bit more coverage obviously if you continue to put some more, but for me personally, a medium coverage is what I prefer, just because I still like some of my natural skin to peek through. So I am genuinely really enjoying that. As to the blurring effect, I can definitely see that. I still see like some of my texture and things like that, but it looks nice. The finish looks nice. It's not super drying. It can definitely speak to being that soft matte finish, which I am enjoying. As to the concealer, I absolutely love it. I enjoy the soft matte finish as well too. It's not super drying. It's not doing any intense creasing underneath the eye, and we haven't even set it with powder. The color works well for me and it blends well with the foundation. So now we're gonna go into the powder and just set this before we move on to powdered bronzer. And the third complexion product that we'll be testing out is going to be the Ultimate Blurring Setting Powder. I have it in the mini and I also just have it in the Universal Translucent shade. Now this is supposed to be an ultimate blurring powder, a super fine powder with a soft matte finish and a blurring effect that can last up to 14 hours and is perfect for everyday setting and buildable baking. So once again, giving me that description that I love in the sense of a soft matte finish, so that means it shouldn't make us feel or look cakey, the blurring effect which we all look for, and something that lasts long. So this one claims to be 14 hours long on the skin. This also does come in two shades, so there's this one translucent and there is a deeper one for multiple different skin tones, and it also says that you will always be photo ready with this, meaning that there's no flashback or white cast. Now that powder is actually really living up to the blurring name. I've just applied some underneath the eye and we are nice and mattified but not super dry, so definitely a soft matte blurring look. It feels so nice and soft underneath the eye. So this is what the concealer looks like without the powder, and this is with the powder, so very excited about that. Now moving into one of my favorite parts, which is the bronzing part, adding some color and depth into the skin, we're gonna move on to our next product, and that is going to be the One Size Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt Trio Palette. Now this is a matte, buildable, visible texture blurring, here we go with that blurring word again, which we love, trio to shade, bronze, and sculpt your face for a touch of color to a fully contoured look. And in this section for what else to know, it does tell you can use the shade as an overall bronzer, which is that top color. You can bronze for a warm glow without shimmer, and you can sculpt to shape and define. The formulas leave a silky finish, moisturize and soften the skin, and will deliver a long time wear and grip. So we're gonna be applying this over the face. I have used this product. It is in my everyday staples because I genuinely enjoy it so much, especially this top color. I feel suits my warm medium skin so well. So we're gonna be applying that all over the face to bring some warmth and sculpture into it. Now this is the face with the bronzer on, and like I said, we're adding some definition to the face, which honestly is one of my favorite parts. Now they do also have a blush trio. I do not have that one on me because honestly I've looked at all of them and I've wanted to purchase one, but I'm just not as drawn or interested in them. The colors don't really they don't really speak to me, and I know that the third of the trio for the blush is like a shimmer, and I think one of them is a cream, so I'm just not necessarily blown away or intrigued by the blush trios. But if you do want to check them out, they definitely do have the blush trios. I'm just gonna go in with my Milani blushes in the shade Luminoso and Sunrise Senorita just to add some blush before we jump on into the eyes. I know this video is about One Size, but honestly these Milani baked powder blushes, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, check these out. So since they have that nice luminous feel, I don't really even have to put a highlighter. Maybe towards the end I'll just put a little bit in the tip of the nose just because I enjoy doing that. But now we are going to jump into one of my other staple products. I've had this one for a while. It's been on sale for quite a while, so you can actually get this one for half off, which is amazing, and that is going to be the One Size Eyeshadow Palette. Before I dive on into eyeshadow, I am just going to prime with my NARS eyeshadow base. This has been a holy grail for me. I'm just like, why did I not have this sooner? Because for oily lids, if you have oily lids, I highly recommend this one. Like, highly recommend it. And I actually tested it out because I heard Ali Glines here and Casey Holmes speak to it. I know that Casey speaks on having really oily skin, so anytime I hear folks that have oily skin, especially when it comes to the lids, I always love to try their recommendations, and this one has been gold. So definitely check that out. I'm just priming the eye, making sure that everything is nice and blended. Now, I just want to show you this super cool thing because I remember him speaking to this and saying that he made this like asymmetrical with the point and the purpose of simply having people that have nails be able to open a palette. So if you look at the bottom, there's like this little part hanging as well as this little part down here, and that is so that you can just easily open up your palette if you have nails on and not have to struggle. So this is the eyeshadow palette. It is a 15 pan eyeshadow palette with 9 super pigmented mattes and 6 eye-catching shimmers that are opaque, creamy, and blendable. He created this visionary palette of all-day, everyday shadow essentials with neutrals, warm tones, pop of colors, and the deepest black. This palette is also vegan, and I can definitely speak to this top row right here. All of these have been like, I honestly purchased the palette for this and this, but all of the other shades are just so beautiful. I love that this one has, this green has like that symbol there, which is so cute. This just makes it like, you know, unique. And this blue, I'm just like, whoa, we need to use that. So for today's look, I'm thinking something neutral, but maybe using this color to create a bold winged liner. So let's just dive on in. You'll be able to see me using the colors and just being able to see how that works and blends on the eye. So this is where we are with the eyes right now. Absolutely loving it so much. I have used, like I mentioned, all of the neutral shades before. They blend so nicely together, and I did use that royal blue to create a winged liner, and it worked so well. I just sprayed some setting spray on it to be able to give it a little more of a formula that is easier to work with. Now, before we finish up the eyes, another product that I do have that I want to be able to use is their eyeliner. Now this is the Pointy Made Busty Brown 24-hour gel eyeliner. So I am going to put a little bit of this in the waterline just to deepen up the look a bit. And also I have another eye product. So we're having a lot of eye products here, and that is going to be the eye popper. Now I have also used this before, and this is the Sparkle Vision eyeshadow, and I believe this is in the color Everything and More, and this is what she looks like. Kind of resembles the Stila formula in the sense of an eye topper with some glitter and shimmer. So let me just show you guys a bit of that and how that looks on here. Now I could have put it all over the eye, and maybe for another look we'll do that, but for right now I'm thinking I want to be able to just place that in the lower waterline to just add a little sparkle and bring some light on in there. But I've used this before and I genuinely really enjoy it. We're almost approaching the end. Next up we have the One Size Fantasize mascara. This is the packaging that it comes with, and this is what the wand looks like. So super excited to be able to test this one out and see what it does for my lashes. This mascara claims to be a lifting, lengthening, and smudge-proof mascara, which I'm always looking for, that delivers up to 24 hours of flake-proof long wear, curl, and length with the richest black pigment. All things I continuously look for in a mascara, and it mentions that the long wearing is for sure one of the benefits that they definitely want to be able to call out. This also claims to be a sweat-proof mascara, which is powered by a 6-pointed fan brush that helps prevent breakage and immediately lengthens and curls each lash with just one coat. So I'm hearing a lot of claims of lengthening and curling, which is usually what I look forward to in a mascara. This is a one eye with the mascara and one without. I know it's a bit difficult to be able to see it because we have a dark liner but definitely lengthens and definitely curls, which I can genuinely appreciate, especially since I don't always wear falsies. I genuinely enjoy this, and I think it'll be a great one for an everyday look. Mascara is on. I just added brows and a lip color since we don't have those for one size. I'm actually so annoyed because I bought the brow pen. I think that honestly was like the second product I bought from one size, and I could not find it for the life of me. And I know it's because I use it so often. I do not know where it is, but it resembles a typical skinny brow pencil, and it is so good. So if you want to test that out, I would definitely and highly recommend it. But this is the completed look. I am honestly obsessed with it. I love how the look ended up turning out. I do just want to rank all the items, and then also I'll be checking in later on tonight, at least to see how it wears for, let's say, 8 hours or so, 6 hours. I'll come back and give you guys a up close and personal look at it, but this is it so far. Definitely speaks to and shows up in the blurring effect that it all continuously talks on. I love how the powder is looking. We're not looking super cakey underneath the eyes. I love how the bronzer is showing up. The mascara as well. I love to also just do this once it dries like you would to your false lashes, just to be able to give them that extra little curl and that ba-ba boom. Sometimes honestly it makes my lashes look like fake lashes. I love the eyeshadow palette, so I'm definitely looking forward to see how that works throughout the day as well. But overall, I'm super pleased. Let's rank these quickly before we finish this portion. So we have the foundation, we have the mascara, we have the liner, we have the concealer, the powder, and we also have the little sparkle which I put underneath the eye, which also looks so stunning. If I'd have to say, I know for sure that I use the absolute most the concealer, so I think the concealer and the eyeshadow palette honestly tie for that #1 spot. And the reason why I say the palette is because it just has those colors that are so easy to use. Like I mentioned earlier, these rows, this row right here, and then you have some beautiful toppers for an everyday use. I use this black all the time, and when I want a softer liner, I like to go into this brown color. They blend so well, and it looks so beautiful, and I think you would honestly get a ton of use out of it. And like I mentioned, this palette has been on sale for a pretty long time if you purchase it online, and I do think that in stores, select stores, they also have it for $21. So I would definitely tell you, get your hands on it because you will not regret it. Also tying in with that, I would definitely say the concealer, just because I also have been using this on a daily use. I think the undertone works so well for me. The formula works so well. It blends so nicely and it lasts so well throughout the day. The next runner up I would definitely say would probably be the topper. I really love the topper. I am a sucker for eye toppers, so I think this one is so pretty. You can find other alternatives for it, but if you are looking to explore the brand and you want to test out one of their best-selling products, at least for me, I would definitely recommend this one. I also think that the powder is really good, so I would definitely say this one takes what is that, 4th place in ranking. I think this one is really good. I like the blurring effect that it does, but I'm also kind of one of those people, I'm experimenting a little more to see the differences, but it's like powder is powder. For me, the major difference is it cakey, is it drying or not? And I would definitely say this one is a or not, but it has that added bonus of it having that really beautiful blurred effect under the eye, which I'm looking for. So I would highly also recommend this one. The next one is going to be the BB cream. I do want to test this out a little bit more just to see how it plays with others, but I do genuinely love it. If you're a full coverage type of gal, I don't think you would really enjoy this one because you'd have to use quite a bit of product to build it up. But if you're a medium coverage type of gal, or you spot conceal and you just want something to even out your skin tone, I think this would be absolutely beautiful. I love the formula, I love the finish, and I'm really excited to see how this wears. And then for the last two, I think all of these products are good. I'm just ranking them in like what excites me the most, but also what I would use the most. Next up, we have the gel liner, which I have actually really been like experimenting and just buying a few to see which don't smudge, because I always have liners that just smudge, especially when you want to put them in the waterline. It's so annoying because it's just running. So I haven't used this one a ton to be able to speak to it, but I am putting this in my everyday cabinet to just be able to keep using it. I have used it as a liner before, and now I'm using it in the waterline to be able to see. Then lastly, we have the mascara, and I think this is the second time I use it, and honestly, I love it. I think it looks beautiful. I think it definitely does what it says. It curls, it lengthens, and it also adds some volume to it. So I can appreciate this mascara, especially let's say on a day where I have a softer wing or no wing at all. I think it'll really emphasize my lashes the way that I want it to. So that concludes this portion of the video. I will be checking in later on throughout the day. It is currently 12:30 p.m. right now, so I'll check in maybe around 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 just to see how it wears. I'm gonna do my best to not touch my face, to not touch anything, and I'll see you guys, for you in a second, for me in a few hours. Hello, so it has been 4.5 hours. We are approaching, oh, it's actually 5 on the dot right now, and this is what the face is looking like so far. Looking pretty good if you ask me. We still have the bronzer, the foundation is still wearing very nicely, hasn't been breaking apart. I do have the lines just happening right around the mouth, which, go figure, typically always happens. I usually also get the lines right over here, those like frown lines, and I have them very, very slightly, nothing too crazy, which I appreciate. The mascara has not crumbled or smudged underneath the eye, so I can appreciate that. The blue of the eyeshadow has come down just a little bit, nothing too crazy, and has transferred a bit into the crease, but once again, I have super hooded lids. As you can see, that whole entire section of my eyes literally disappear when I look down. So honestly, not really surprised by that. I really have been loving though how the mascara has been lasting. Like I mentioned, the bronzer I already know I love. The powder is doing really, really well. It hasn't looked cakey or anything like that. The shimmer underneath the eye is still just as beautiful, and as we can see in the waterline, the brown liner is still there. It's definitely coming off just a tad bit, but it still is there. So as you can see like my natural just like nude line underneath, but overall looking really good for being worn for 4.5 hours. I'll do another check-in and we'll see how we're looking before we wash this all off. Hello friends, so we are at the 8-hour check-in point and we're looking oily. We're looking a little oily, so this is what my skin is looking like. Clearly I have very much, it's I would say combination, but sometimes very oily, especially in the summertime, and then a little drier in the winter time. This is how it's looking. Honestly, it's not looking too bad. I literally have not touched my face at all because I wanted to give you guys a true 8-hour wear test without touching the face. But typically I would go in with a sponge or even just go in with a puff to just be able to absorb some of that oil. So I am going to do that now just to be able to see how it would look, and if I wanted to extend the wear, if patting that down it would work. So I'm just going to take this sponge and we're just going to start patting it in just to see as we absorb the oils. But honestly, aside from how oily my skin gets, the foundation is not breaking apart. It still is looking really nice aside from, like I said, the oils. And once I go in with something like this, it is absorbing the oil that I have on there. As you can see, I did eat, so we did get just a little bit off, but nothing too crazy. Underneath the eyes, the eyeshadow kind of smudged just a bit. We also see the same thing on the lid, but the mascara, I'm actually pretty impressed with the mascara. The mascara has worn really nice. I still have the curl, which I am enjoying, and I just love that it did not smudge, and neither did the liner, which I can appreciate. I think the only thing that has smudged is the blue eyeshadow, which of course is an eyeshadow, not an eyeliner, but I used it that way, so I'm totally okay with that. The concealer is still doing the brightening effect that I wanted it to do. So 8 hours in, and I genuinely feel like we're doing pretty good. I don't think the foundation is as oil absorbing, at least on my skin. Maybe honestly too, I could have set and put more powder. So I'm gonna test it out and see how it wears with different setting powders and things like that. But honestly, overall, I'm pretty impressed. We saw also in like the 3-hour check-in, it was still looking pretty good. And I like to see how the foundation works when my natural oils start to come through. And we have a lot of natural oils that are willing to come through here. So that is going to be the end of this video. That is the 8-hour wear test of the One Size BB Cream Foundation, as well as the concealer and all the other products that I tried on. Definitely all products that I will continue to try again, and definitely found some holy grails here, including that mascara. Love the concealer. Eyeshadow palette, forget about it, is definitely gonna be one of my absolute faves, and super excited to just keep trying different products. Thank you so much for being here, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.